is going to be the one we're actually going to show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Your Parenting Mojo podcast. I'm Jen. Who are you? This is Carys in her world podcasting debut. So if you're not watching this on YouTube, you might want to watch it on YouTube because then you'll get to see both of us. And so we were having a conversation last night about feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so you were having ice cream and I was doing dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you started talking about how you feel when you're having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy said, you should be in a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I said that.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. And Daddy agreed.
Uh-huh.
And we were going to do it last night, but you had an appointment to talk to Auntie Jazz, didn't you? You couldn't do both. So Here we are today to talk about feelings. So how old are you?
6.5.
6.5? Okay. You're almost 6 3/4, aren't you?
Yeah, I was going to say that, but
Okay. How many loose teeth do you have? Oh, yeah. Gotta be on YouTube to get that one. The 2 front teeth are wobbly and have been wobbly for a while, aren't they? So do you remember what we were talking about last night? Why you started telling us about your feelings? I was trying to remember and I couldn't remember.
I think I just remembered that it just helps to understand your kids' feelings when you just look back and see a time when you were feeling a lot like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is what you said, isn't it? Yeah. And I was trying to understand more about what you meant by that. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. And so you were trying to tell us some things about how you feel when you're frustrated, right? Can you tell us a bit about that?
I felt that sometimes I felt that people weren't really paying attention to me, actually.
Okay. And what's it like when you feel like people aren't paying attention to you?
It's sort of that I don't really want to be with them. Or something tells me not to.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is when we say something that you don't agree with, is that right? That's when that happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what happens in your body then? What kind of things do you feel in your body?
Sometimes I just feel like people don't care about me that much.
Oh, really? Huh. And do you feel that in your stomach or in
just
your
everywhere?
head? Everywhere. Really? Okay. And so what do you do normally when you get that feeling?
I usually, when I'm almost always frustrated, just go in my room.
Okay. And sometimes you can seem a little angry to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes you close the door, or if we try to go to you, you say that you want to be by yourself. And you can say it in kind of a loud voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like when you're saying that?
I just really want to be alone because it helps for me to calm down.
Okay. And I think that was one of the things that made us want to do the podcast, wasn't it? Was because you were explaining how you think that parents don't really understand that their children sometimes just want to be alone.
Yeah, because I sometimes just shut the door on you because I just don't want to tell you, and I feel like I can't talk to you at all, so I just shut the door because I want to be left alone.
Mm-hmm. And how does being alone help you? How does that help you feel differently?
It's just talking kind of distracts me from everything.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Okay. So when you're alone by yourself, it seems like you're able to calm yourself down better, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's easier for you to calm down by yourself than when you're with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed that then once you've calmed down, you usually come out again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then how do you feel?
Still sad or something, but I usually just wander around for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I'm wondering if there are things that you would like us to do when you're frustrated that we don't do now?
Usually it's just if you see me shut the door, that means I don't want you to come in, but you can still, like, go into the doorway where your kid is, and if they shut the door, it probably means they want to be left alone, but if they let you come in, they probably actually really want to be with you.
Okay, so you think different kids deal with things in different ways? Mm-hmm. And that parents can maybe listen to their kids?
Yeah, and sometimes I feel usually that I only let you come in because Daddy sometimes just makes me feel even more frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about that, right?
So.
How Daddy and I were raised very differently than the ways we're raising you. And sometimes it's hard to stop doing things from the way that you learned them when you were growing up, right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember what you told me when I said that to you last time a few weeks ago, that we were doing things differently? You said, I'm so glad we're doing things differently. You remember that?
No.
No? Yeah. So I'm wondering if there's anything else that you want parents to know about things that children might be feeling that maybe their children can't tell their parents about.
It could be just they don't really want to see their parents that much, actually.
In that moment.
And they could just want to kind of sneak around and wander around.
You mean when they're having a hard time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because they need to be by themselves. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they really want to play, so I usually, when I want to do that, just wander around the house, usually.
And so when we do disagree about things, sometimes you get frustrated, right? Mm-hmm. And then after you've calmed down, there's something we usually do, right?
Talk about it?
Yeah. We have a problem-solving conversation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we've been doing those in a new way, haven't we? You want to hold up the diagram, the picture? You got to hold it kind of between us so that people can see it. And so what was happening here? What was happening with this problem?
I did not want to brush my teeth.
Uh-huh. There's my toothbrush drawing in the middle with a big X through it. And then you drew that, didn't you? What's that for?
Loving teeth, brushing.
Yeah. And so we started talking about the reasons why you don't like toothbrushing. And you said, look, there's you up here. You're tired because you didn't like doing it when you're tired. And, you don't like holding your arm up. So there's you with your arms down. There's you excited for story time. You liked that one, didn't you? With you holding the book. And then we talked about how you felt about it and that you often felt frustrated when we tell you to brush your teeth, that it's time to brush your teeth, and also mad because you said again that I feel like you don't care about me. Oh, and there was one other thing up here with the toothbrush being loud, right? You didn't like that either. And so what did we talk about from there? Oh, and toothbrushing is boring and it takes too long. There's a whole lot of things you didn't like about toothbrushing, wasn't there? And let's see. I guess we didn't look at Daddy's and my feelings on this one, did we? Because we had already looked at it with other problem-solving issues. But we talked about some ideas that we could do. You had an idea of brushing every other night instead of every night. So we wrote that down. Brushing after every meal.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Didn't you say you were going to brush after breakfast this morning? Isn't that what the number one was for on the floor?
What?
Can you turn around a little bit? Because I think people can't see you. They're just looking at the back of your head right now. Oh. And you said do it whenever you feel like it in the day. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that, didn't we? The problem with that, though, was that then if you don't do it right before bed, the bacteria can be on your teeth all night. You said find a way to remember to brush right after dinner. Oh, and was that the pizza that you drew to represent dinner? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so where did we end up with toothbrushing? It wasn't a place that I would have thought we would have ended up. What are we doing right now? Can you turn around so people can see you? You're sort of facing backwards.
Doing 2 minutes of brushing teeth. Well, anytime near dinner, basically.
Yeah, after dinner, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and The part about it that wasn't what I thought it would be was you get a reward at the end of it, don't you? Mm-hmm. What's your reward?
Well, a sticker book at the end of the month. And also
the money. Oh, yeah, didn't Daddy offer to pay you, how much was it? I forgot. Oh, we wrote it down. 25 cents for 7 days in a row of brushing. Oh, and there was supposed to be a bonus for 2 times a day, wasn't there? You forgot about the bonus, didn't you? You could bring that back. So, yeah, so I started looking at ways that we could help you brush your teeth. And one of the first things that came up was, you should reward your child. And I said that. And you said, I want to do that, right? Mm-hmm. So you picked your own reward. You got a ring there, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get another one.
You are? Okay. I think this is going to make it hard for people to watch. Okay. There you go. Thanks. So I'm wondering, you have a lot of practice at problem solving now, don't you? Mm-hmm. What do you think of problem solving?
I think it's actually very, very fun.
Yeah? What makes it fun?
It's just, I find the pictures sometimes really, really silly.
Yes, you do. And what do you think about the ideas that we come up with in problem solving?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Do they usually work for you in some way?
Some way, yeah.
Yeah. And then what happens if it ends up not working out? What do we do after that?
Problem solving.
More problem solving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If one of us decides that, stacked rings. You want another one of those? If one of us decides that it isn't working, then we have another conversation and we say, oh, we thought this was going to work. And actually parts of it is not working for one of us. Can we have another conversation? And then do we sometimes get to solutions that work better, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So I'm wondering if there's anything else that you think parents should know about their children's feelings or about solving problems with their children.
Well, I would just suggest when you see your kid wandering around, try not to interrupt them. Because it sometimes makes me a little bit more frustrated when you do.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So each child might do a different thing, right? Not all children might do the wandering around thing. Mm-hmm. But maybe if parents can see what their child does, they can think, okay, maybe my child needs to do that and I should give him a little bit of space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you think that would help their children? Yeah,
because I feel like probably most children like to be alone or really like to be with their parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's our job to figure out which one of those our child wants. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it'll be different for each child. And then if we can do that, we can help you to feel calmer. Mm-hmm. And then we can feel calmer as well, because sometimes it's hard for us when our children are doing things that we find difficult to understand. Ooh, you got 3 rings together. All right. So if parents want to know more about understanding their children's feelings and doing problem-solving conversations, I'm hosting a workshop which is called Setting Loving and Effective Limits. And we do actually learn a little bit about setting limits. But most of what we learn about is how to set way fewer limits. We don't actually have many limits for you, right? Mm-hmm. The things that you can't do.
I found an 8.
You did find an 8. Should we show people the 8? Okay. Here's the 8. And so if you want to learn how to set way fewer limits than you ever thought possible, and also learn some of the problem-solving techniques that Carys and I use on a regular basis, you can go to yourparentingmojo.com/setting limits. And we will be there for a week-long workshop starting on Monday, April 26th. And we'll walk through the whole thing with you. And we'll get you super comfortable with using these ways of being with your children so that you can respond to them effectively. Wow, look at that. You're making rolled up art. Even when they're having difficult feelings. Is there anything else you want to say? How do you, when you're doing little videos around the house, how do you wrap them up?
Usually with thank you for watching and yourparentingmojo.com, basically.
There you go.